everyone. Teacher Ladi here, and I came today because I have a question to answer. There have been a few people asking me this question, and I have a special guest with me today. Do you want to meet Frankie? Yes, everybody wants to meet Frankie. Frankie, come on down.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Frankie.
Hi, Frankie. It's so nice of you to join me today. What is the question that you have for me?
Well, I really want to know what is VIP Kid?
Oh, that is a good question. You're not the only one who has asked me what VIP Kid is, and I'm prepared to answer.
That's great, because I have been curious for the longest.
Okay, so VIP Kid is a program where you can teach online, and some people might call it tutoring. I call it teaching, and the people who manage the company call it teaching. You create your own little classroom at home, and you basically are teaching English to children in China. Okay, so yes, that could be considered tutoring, but you basically have your own set schedule. You get to choose when it is you want to teach. There are specific times that are available. There's slots that are available in the morning to book, and then you can also book some slots in the evening.
Oh, okay. Well, are there specific times that you would get more bookings? Are there better times to be available than others?
Yes, Frankie, that's a great question. There's something called PPT and PT. So, or no, actually, yes. So PT stands for peak times and PPT stands for peak times. So if you were to imagine the scale from green, yellow, or green, orange, and red, okay? Or if we think about our signal lights or whatever. So green is like not very important in this case, where orange or yellow is pretty important. There are lots of parents who are looking for those times, but the red is the one you want to pay most attention to because those are the times that more people are looking for teachers. Now, for me, it doesn't work out that great.
Well, why not?
Well, because the PPT times are normally like between 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. It changes sometimes, but normally those are the times that are really important to the parents in China. But if you were not aware, if you're in the eastern coast in the United States, then we're actually 12 hours apart. And well, now it's actually 13 because of daylight savings. They do not do daylight savings, so it just makes more of a time difference. But I am an actual teacher in the classroom, a brick and mortar classroom, as they call it, and I'm not available at that time because I have to go to work. But for those of you who are maybe stay at home moms or parents, or this is your full time job because you work with this company online and then you have some other things that you do online, or maybe you have your own business, so this is something you do extra, whatever the case, then maybe you are available at those times that they really, really need you. Now, I'm finding that it's okay for me, especially because I have such a busy schedule that I'm okay with just having, some bookings on the weekends and just making the extra money. Or teacher life when we are on break for Thanksgiving and Christmas and spring break, then I can take that opportunity to make some extra money. But otherwise, you just kind of figure out when you can schedule. There are some times at night that you can schedule as well. And I have had bookings in the evening, even though it's not um, orange or red. I would call those like green times, I guess. Um, I still get booked sometimes. So it works out well.
So I was wondering though, how much do you get paid?
Well, Frankie, your pay depends on like how you do basically in your interview and what experience you have. So you have to have a bachelor's degree, but it doesn't have to be in education. So if you have a bachelor's degree and maybe it's not in a related field, then maybe you wouldn't get paid as much as an experienced teacher. But the pay can go, if I'm not mistaken, it's from $7 to $10 your base pay, like the minimum that you would get for a class. And then it can increase with different incentives that are available.
Well, what kind of incentives are there? How much can you get? Like, what's the max?
Well, from my understanding, the maximum amount that you could earn would be 20, is it $20 an hour? So you the max base pay you can get is 10. And then there's something an incentive where basically a participation incentive, which if you teach the class then you've participated. So they are so kind to bless you with an extra dollar for being present. So you get that extra dollar. It's kind of like a given. But then there's also another incentive. It's called, uh-oh, I've drawn a blank. Well, if I can think of it, I'll put it in the comments below. But you get another incentive basically if you are teaching the class and you're on time to class and getting out of class on time, which that's kind of another given. But the tricky part is that's not as simple because you have to have a certain amount of classes that you've taught. So if you teach, I think it's from 25 to 44 classes for that month, then then you can earn like 50 cents. Like you get half of it. But if it's 45 or more for the month, then you get the full dollar. So, I mean, it's kind of nice. It's an incentive to try and get you to open more slots and be more available. But there's no pressure. There's no pressure as to how many hours you need to be available. Um,
So, is that all? You just set up your classroom and then you just teach and you make money and you're done?
well, kind of. It's a little more complicated than that because um, even though you don't need to do much, especially if you are new to the teaching world, or finances are really, really, you know, tight, and you can't really invest a whole bunch of money into like a reward system or like different. I mean, this is not a lot of money. I mean, you print out something. I've laminated it. I bought a laminator, but remember that I'm already a teacher, so having a laminator at home is valuable anyway. But so I've printed things out and laminated them. So these are called 2D props.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So, but then you also like you might invest like the Dollar Tree. I bought some pom poms so that I can celebrate when the kids do really well. They have so much fun. I cheer them on, and just little silly things here and there that the kids enjoy. And it doesn't have to be like spending an arm and a leg. But like I said, at first, you don't really have to spend much of anything to get started. You do want to invest in some kind of headphones, but you could just use your cell phone headphones to get started because it's really just so that there's not an echo. You don't even need the mic part, really, as long as your device has that available, which most devices would. You have to have something, obviously. I'm using a laptop, but some people use their iPads. It doesn't matter if you have something. You want to have good lighting so that, you're not looking dark and scary. But these are all things that, for the most part, you are going to have around the house. Like you could just fix it up, fix your area up to be conducive for teaching class. Um, but yeah, you have some of those things, like you have to actually take some time and look through the lesson, especially when you're just starting and you don't really know what to expect. You do have some prep time in that manner of like going through, making sure you know what you're supposed to be asking the kids, like what you're looking for, thinking about how you're going to reward the kid, and then you also have to give feedback. So I'm getting better at feedback and it's taking less time, but I'm not going to lie. When I first started, it was taking me like a pretty long time to complete the feedback.
Well, how long is long?
Well, long is, I'm going to say maybe the first time took me about 15 minutes because I wanted to go back through and watch the lesson or like look through all of the slides and then trying to remember what how the kid did, and then I wanted to include like everything the kid did well and everything the kid needed work on to give feedback to the parents. But now I realize there is just certain parts that really need to be included. I mean, it shouldn't be taking that long. So now I think I'm down to, um, well, it depends, like maybe 5 minutes sometimes. It's better, whatever the case. I don't have exact times because I didn't really time myself, but I've gotten a lot better and it's not taking as much time. But you do have to take a little bit of time after class and do your feedback. So it's not just, sitting and teaching and you're done. You do have some feedback to give after, but it's not anything to complain about. Um,
Well, is that it? I mean, should I know anything else before trying to apply to VIP Kid?
um, well, I have another video out there already that talks about what requirements they have. So if you're interested in teaching for VIP Kid, then just look at some of my other videos, and one of them is basically telling you what you need in order to be qualified. So you can just check that out. I definitely would love if you are interested in teaching with VIP Kid, then please do use my link below or use my code when you're applying, so that I can be your referee. Is that proper? Is that proper? I don't know. Well, me either. So, either way, if you could use my referral code and there's a link. That's probably the easiest way. You just click on it and then you fill in the application from that link and it will direct it to me. But if not, then you could use the code that will be down in the description box as well. And then I will definitely take time to help you and be your mentor and give you any tips, any guidance through the process, any help that you need. I will be available for you. So just feel free to reach out, ask questions, and I hope that I will see your name as someone who is looking, going through the process and looking for some assistance. And I mean, it's a great experience, and I think everybody should do it. But that's all I have. Do you have any more questions for me?
I don't think so. I think that's everything I had.
Okay, well, if you have any questions or think of anything else, then you could just leave them down in the comment box below. Okay?
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, and I will see you next time.